The 12th time.
The 12th
when you don't even make a joke.
And you know what's funny?
You just say the word right, Hirachi.
And you know what's funny? Jose's on the way here right now.
Yeah.
And you know within the first 20 minutes he's going to make a mention of the
Yeah, and we're
Sriracha.
like, shut the fuck up. Don't make a mention of the Hirachis, bro.
I want to start this episode with like a laugh track.
Hee hee har har.
We should do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe we're the laugh track. On the count of 3, everybody laugh. Go. Okay, we got that. Okay, we got that audio clip ready. And now, welcome to the Joystick Show, guys. Oh my God, it's gonna be a great one. Everybody's having a good time.
Everyone's been laughing already.
This is a manic start to this fucking episode. Welcome to the Joystick Show.
Laugh!
Oh my God. They will in a second.
Yeah,
we'll do it naturally.
Blow out the audio too.
Oh my God, somebody had a stressful day.
Nah,
Welcome to the Joystick Show, episode 170. Oh no, the light behind Dylan's not blue. That's right, it's green. It's Christmas time,
correct,
guys.
everyone.
Ding,
Yeah.
ding, 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 ding. That's the Christmas song. It's gonna be a festive 2 weeks here on Joystick, so stick around for all the content that's coming your way in the next 2 weeks. But we're kicking it off with a nice little pre-Christmas celebration here. That being said, we're gonna talk very little about Christmas today, but you know,
no holly, no jolly,
no Joey. That's
No.
a big one.
Yeah.
You know. But point is, we're still here. We're gonna have a good time. If you're actually curious as to what it is we are gonna talk about, it's right there. Boom! It's next to my face. There's a 3 or 4 bullet points because we can never tell if it's gonna be 3 or 4.
One day it'll be 7. You guys will be fun.
It doesn't fit on the graphic. You know,
No.
it never.
What if you
ready.
made like 3-point like really small fonts?
I don't know. You know what's funny? Like I'm thinking about it as a joke, but it's hurting me to visualize that.
Bob's thinking of more work he has to do.
Regardless, stick around. Go ahead, like the episode if you're feeling like it. If you're feeling like it, you can sub too. I'm not gonna make you do it. You know, just watch the fucking show. It's gonna be a good one. Listen, I did a lot of nothing this past week, and
Correct.
by that I mean I basically did one thing all week, which is kind of what I want to talk about. But I decided, in typical fashion, why not fashion a little segment around it?
Okay.
Have some fun. It is going to be a trivia segment.
Okay.
No buzzers, but you guys will both have the opportunity to give me your choices, and I'll tell you who's right. You know how it be.
Pretty chill.
So I decided that I was going. Well, let me tell you how I came to this conclusion. Let me
Okay.
tell you the thing I was doing.
Okay,
all
this is
week.
the pre-segment.
Yeah, well, not even. It's just the introduction.
Yeah.
The one thing I was doing all week was I was watching a shit ton of stand-up comedy. And then the only reason I was doing that was because one of my favorite comedians dropped a special, which I'll talk about soon. And that just kind of like reset my brain. I was like, I love stand-up. Totally haven't been watching it in a long time. Just started watching a shit ton of specials from a bunch of people. So,
Amen.
That being said, I figured I would go into the Joystick archives, into the deep recesses, and brush off a little segment from the shelves, take it out. So today, we're playing the old-fashioned Who Said What Now stand-up edition.
Hey.
So
Stand-up edition.
If you remember last time we did this, it was for a Family Guy episode where I was giving you Family Guy quotes.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And you guys were telling me, like what characters out of a character bank would have said those quotes. It was like, Peter and blah, blah, blah. This one's going to be a little different, but it's way simpler.
Okay.
I have 8 jokes. I'm going to tell you the joke. And then I'm going to give you 3 comedians. And one of those comedians did, in fact, say that joke.
Hey,
and
this is easy, but also
I did not make it easy.
Oh,
you know me. I'm not, I actually thought of other
I'm going
comedians
to do
who could
so
have
bad
jokes
and be
like
so upset now.
No,
oh my
no
God.
Ahmed the terrorist.
So do your best, have a good time. Also, you at home, feel free to play along. Keep track of your score and see if you did better than Dylan or Jerry. And last thing I'm going to say, if you have a problem with any of the jokes that I say, I didn't write them. So shut the
They're
fuck
not
up
his jokes,
and deal with
yeah.
it. All right? So, you guys ready for joke number 1?
Yes.
All right. A white lady came running. Also, I have to keep in mind, I'm trying not to do the impression of the comedian. I'm trying to do it real. You know what I mean? So, that being said, a white lady came running up to me after a show. She goes, "What gives you the right to do jokes about black people like that?" And I'm like, "Listen, lady, my best friend is Cuban, and that's close enough." Was that Louis C.K., Daniel Tosh, or Theo Von? Told you.
That's really difficult.
I told you.
Can you say the 3 again?
Louis C.K., Daniel Tosh, Theo Von.
This is a very Louis C.K. style joke, but I'm gonna go with Tosh on this one.
Yeah, it's really between Tosh and Vaughn for me. I'm gonna go with Tosh though.
Good on you guys.
Yeah.
It was in fact a Daniel Tosh joke. So you guys got 1 point each. You should feel good about that. You guys ready for number 2?
Yes.
This one's a personal favorite of mine.
Okay.
I don't believe in premature ejaculation. If I come, it was right on time. Was that Chris Rock, Mark Normand, or Dave Chappelle?
Oh, fuck.
Can I Google Mark Norman's face?
He's Dylan's favorite comedian. The
Oh,
guy who's, the guy who's always like, oh, boy, I don't know. Look at the guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mark Normand is only good in like 10-minute intervals, though. You can't take like a whole special of Mark, you know? You need him as just like a quick A, and you're like, oh, that's good. I'm going to go with Dave on this one, though.
Okay.
What was the first option?
Chris Rock.
I'm gonna go with Mark.
Correct answer is Dave Chappelle.
Wow, really?
Dave Chappelle.
It's a one-liner, so I really thought it was like Mark.
No, yeah, I threw this one as a monkey wrench. Not only is it an older Dave Chappelle joke, most of Chappelle's jokes are very long and thought out.
Yeah,
Dave Chappelle's usually like the thought comedian. Like he's usually talking for a very long time.
This one would be really easy. Like I'm not even gonna say anything. I'll just say the joke. Ready?
Okay.
Number 3. So we're at 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to chickenpox. Only disease that says, you know what? We did our thing once, and now I'm out of here forever. Was that Aziz Ansari, Hannibal Buress, or Anthony Jeselnik?
Oh, this is hard.
I think it's Hannibal Buress.
I'm gonna go with Aziz, but it's a very Hannibal joke. So
It is a very Hannibal joke.
It's a very Hannibal joke.
But it is an Aziz joke.
Oh wow.
So shout out to Dylan, 3-1.
I
was gonna say beforehand, I was like really trying not to do the voice because I could do this great as Aziz.
but like that is such like a Hannibal would really like what?
Shout outs to
Hannibal would turn it into like an attack on chickenpox.
Yeah,
like he'd be
I
like,
fucking hate chickenpox.
What the fuck is chickenpox thinking? Not sticking around.
Yeah.
Polio too. Fuck polio. Like that's definitely.
Meanwhile, Aziz Ansari is like, we did our thing once, and now I'm out of here forever. All right, that's number 3. Let's move it on to numero 4. And after this, we'll be halfway done. Look at that.
Whoa.
All right.
That's all it is.
There's a lot of little phrases in the language that don't say what they mean. Take a shit is one. You don't take a shit. You leave a shit. That's the whole idea, to leave it. Now, I put this one in here because this is one of my dad's all-time favorite jokes. He says this joke all the time, almost with the cadence that it's his own thought. You know what I'm saying? So was this...
You leave a shit. I've heard this.
Was this...
I'm trying to think if I've heard this from a comedian or from your
my
dad.
Yeah. Well, it's either Robin Williams, Richard Pryor, or George Carlin. Absolute legends. Rest in peace, each and every single one of you.
Fuck. I'm gonna go with Pryor, but
Richard Pryor?
Yeah, but it could also be Carlin very easily, just based on the just the veracity of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that era was like really.
Yeah,
big,
I'm gonna go with Pryor.
You should have gone with your gut. It was George Carlin.
It was George.
You should have noticed the ferocity I put in. The only reason I put it, there's exclamation marks.
Yeah.
You know?
Every George Carlin joke
it's heated at the end.
Damn, I should have had that. I knew it too.
But you're still at a 3-1.
Usually
so
George is like political, though. You know, usually he's like
Now listen.
funky with it.
I had to put in a girl comedian. You have to. Right? You have to be fair. And for what it's worth, I actually think there are some hilarious female comedians.
There are, yeah.
So here, I'm telling this as if I was a female comedian. I didn't have sex until I was 21 because I was saving myself for Jesus, which luckily was my gardener's name. So that worked out. Yeah, I found a loophole in my dad's rule. So is that Joan Rivers, Nikki Glaser, or Amy Schumer?
I think I've heard this one.
This is like the fact that someone has a gardener. Like maybe I'm overthinking it. I'm gonna go with Nikki. I don't know if I'm like underthinking it or overthinking it. I'll go with Nikki though.
I'm going with Amy.
It's Nikki Glaser.
Yeah,
Dylan's killing it.
It sounded almost like a Joan Rivers joke, just based on like my father had rules.
That's why I threw it in there.
It was like it's very like old school. Like
Not bad. Before I move on, I will say I had an idea that I decided to omit at the last moment, where instead of 3 options for the multiple choice answer, it was going to be 4.
And the fourth
one was always going to be Amy Schumer. It was just always going to be Amy Schumer.
Oh, I thought it'd be
stealing.
I thought it'd just be like a really obvious, like Carrot Top, like or like non-comedians.
No, that's another good idea too. I should have done that, like a magician or something.
Steve-O or even
Chris Angel. All right, we have 4-1. Dylan in the lead. At this point, you can tie it. You gotta start doing some work, and you gotta hope Dylan fucks up a lot.
I can fuck up.
Let's go. Let's move it on into joke numero 6. All right. I'm too afraid to not believe in God. Like, I'm not an atheist. I'm like before that. I believe in God when I'm on planes. That's when I really believe in God. Is this Patrice O'Neal, Norm Macdonald, or Pete Davidson?
God fucking damn it. This is Bobby did not make. I don't know how I have fucking 4 points.
I'm going to say it's Pete.
Yeah, it's Pete. I'm going to go Pete.
It's Patrice O'Neal.
Wow.
R.I.P., man.
Let's go. Honest, can I just say once again, Patrice is one of the
greatest comedians who's ever lived.
The funniest person.
No, I miss a lot of comedians. He's one of the ones I arguably missed the absolute
most. He's really funny. He's like ridiculous.
Taken way too soon, but yeah. A part of that, the reasoning for me doing that was straight out of respect. I didn't feel right doing a stand-up segment and not putting in Patrice. So.
Of course.
Legend. Moving on, we got joke numero 7. What's the score here? It's like 4-1 still. You guys have Pete.
Yeah.
Sorry, but thanks for stopping by, pal. You know why men make more money than women? Because in the unlikely event that we're both on the Titanic and it starts to sink, for some reason you get to leave with the kids and I have to stay. That's why I get the $1 more an hour. Is this Russell Peters, Carlos Mencia, or Bill Burr?
They're getting harder. Holy shit. I'm just... On the plane. It's Bill. I'm going with Bill.
It's Bill. 100% Bill, man. Isn't that the most Bill joke?
Angry.
Because you didn't do the voice,
I
heard it and I heard it after. I was like,
because for some reason. All right. We're on to the last joke.
Oh, shit.
We got a nice 5-2 going. Not bad.
Yeah.
We're going to end it with this one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of the worst drivers I've ever seen. People expect to see a 100-year-old blind dog who's texting while driving and drinking a smoothie. Instead, they see a 20-year-old healthy man trying his best. Is this Nick Swartzen, John Mulaney, or Donald Glover?
Yeah, I definitely don't know this one.
Got a brain blow. What was the first one? I zoned out for a second.
3 again? Yeah.
Nick Swartzen, John Mulaney, Donald Glover.
A lot of baby-faced comedians we got going on here. I'm going to go with John, but... all 3 could make that joke.
I'm going to say Don.
It was John Mulaney.
Nice. Let's go.
Congratulations to Dylan with a great performance. 6-2.
Go. And I've only heard like one of these jokes, I think.
Yeah,
already,
yeah.
So.
I actually threw in that John Mulaney one because I thought it was one you might remember. I think it's from New in Town.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Regardless... thanks for playing.
Yeah.
It was fun for me to be able to share some of my favorite jokes that I've
just
heard. And
comedians are just really funny people, man.
And not for nothing, like in having to pick all of the like multiple choice comedians, there's just like so much potential for another one of these with so many great comedians that I didn't even
100%.
actually get to represent their jokes, So
yeah.
Stay tuned. We're definitely gonna revisit this at some point,
Love some funny business.
But allow me to jump into one more thing, which is part of the reason I did this whole shtick in the first place. I'd like to make a special shout out to, I guess if I'm being cohesive, the Cumtown boys, the Cum boys.
Okay.
And I'm not just talking about Nick Mullen and Adam Friedland. I am also talking about Stavros Halkias as well, like the original 3. Because Nick Mullen released his first ever comedy special, like legit hour-long, professionally taped. It was put out on YouTube, and it was like not a huge deal, but for people in that who watched the podcast, it was a big deal, right? Mm-hmm. I watched it on YouTube, and I'll get to it in a second. But I found it really interesting how 2 days later, Stav drops his special on Netflix. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we have Nick Mullen's Year of the Dragon and Stavros Halkias' Fat Rascal. And I actually ended up watching Stav's purely with the idea of being able to compare the two, because I do think they're both funny individuals, but bias aside, I will say like Nick Mullen I think is way funnier. Like I just think he's better at kind of like I think he knows how to put a joke together. You know what I mean? Whereas maybe Stav is a more personal person, and he's better with the crowd work stuff.
Stav more like doesn't have like Stav doesn't really have like bits.
Yeah,
he has like a joke, which then he'll riff into something else. He doesn't really have like an organized thing, if that makes sense. That
being said, right off the bat, if I had to give a number score, I would say I'd probably give Stavros' special a 6 out of 10. I explained it to Dylan earlier. It starts with a little bit of crowd work. I remember telling myself, I really hope that this isn't all just crowd work, because if it's a full special, I want to see like an actual written jokes and bits performed and shit. It's not all crowd work, but a good percentage of it is, especially towards the end. I told Dylan they're like maybe half of the way in, like 30 minutes in, there's some jokes that I really laughed out loud at, but most of the other ones were just kind of like, back of my head, whatever. Yeah. Man, Nick Mullen's Year of the Dragon's at least a 9 out of 10. It's fucking hilarious. Right off the bat, if you're a little snowflake, you're not gonna like it. Nick talks about some pretty heavy topics. I
mean, but also like Nick doesn't really go about it in like a
that's another thing I was gonna
way,
say. He goes on it in kind of an ironic way, right? He kind of just talks about injustices because they exist, and he's like, well, let's laugh about it, right? So like right off the bat, like I'm pretty sure the first thing he talks about is abortion, and then he goes into like women's history, he goes into like fucking.
I know there's some Trump and January 6th
politics, everything, right? But he handles it all so fucking well. I kid you not. There's so many jokes in that special that I was laughing out loud for. Like I couldn't hold my laughs in. And then I think another special thing about it was I've become a really big fan of Nick, mainly because of you. You were the one who kind of showed us Come Town.
Yeah,
and
like
their
the
whole
bits.
dynamic.
I believe the first video I showed was not even the Steven Seagal video, because Jose showed you guys that.
It was the voices one, right?
Yeah.
It was the Nick Mullen impressions.
It was Nick Mullen voices, and it was the reaction to Chelsea Clinton, where they all just like shat on Chelsea Clinton.
But I remember that was like really like fairly after we started this one that we kind of got into it. And for that whole time, I've been such a big fan of Nick's, and I've wanted to watch him do stand-up. But the only thing that you could have gotten up until last weekend when the special dropped was you could only see like 1 to 5 minute short clips of him doing sets in like random cities and stuff like that, So to finally get an hour-long set of all pretty much original material that he's throwing out was so refreshing. I can confidently say this guy's got to be like one of my top 3 comedians right now, if not my favorite comedian.
He's solid. I mean, not to say like comedy's weak right now, because a lot of people are putting out specials. But I would see now that it's like, I feel like a lot of comedians have already peaked, and now they're like coasting off of the success. Where I feel like Nick is someone, he has a cult following, but he's not like a big name. And none of those guys are. I mean, they had a podcast called Come Town. They're not.
Exactly.
Stav's the only one, and he got Netflix. And there it is. But, and even then, Stav's last one was on YouTube.
Yeah, true. But, I was just going to say, fucking incredible special. If you haven't checked it out and you're a fan of the stand-up, go watch it. It's really, really funny. Great jokes. I kind of wish Stav's was better, because I do like Stav a lot.
Stav almost has like a Theo Von effect, where I'm like, I just want to hear you talk. I don't even want to hear you do a 45-minute set.
And Dylan brought a good point up earlier when we were talking about it pre-podcast, that I feel like Stav is at his best when he's pulling into his like deep personal experiences and talking about like being Greek or his family life and shit like that.
Or even like, and I feel like now where it's like he makes like a sex joke, but he won't tie it into his like personal life. He'll just be like, haha, dick, and then like
pretty much,
or like haha, sex. Whereas back in the day, he would talk about like a threesome he had, or like a crazy experience of when he lost his virginity. Like it'd be like a personal thing.
But at the end of the day, I thought the Nick Mullen special was hilarious. It not only inspired me to make the segment that we just did, but it inspired me to watch a shit ton of stand-ups from a lot of comedians that I'm fans of but haven't even seen specials for and stuff. Went back, watched a bunch of old school ones that I loved from the past. I rewatched Baby J, John Mulaney.
Oh yeah, of course.
Rewatched Weirdo, Donald Glover. It's still incredible.
One like even the old like Dane Cook one that we watched a couple of years ago. Like I love almost like going back and watching those old bits and almost seeing like, do they still like hold up?
Yeah.
And almost every single time a comedian holds up, unless like a tragic event happens or some shit like that. Like really, really rarely does like
I would say just about every comedian with the exception of Bill Cosby holds up pretty well.
Yeah. Maybe a Louis C.K. Masturbation joke.
No, he's clear now.
Yeah, he's
He's clear. He made 2 specials since, and one of them was called like "Sorry," I think.
Yeah, but it wasn't called "I made you jerk." I made you
you watch me jerk off.
Yeah, it wasn't called that though. You know.
Oh man.
I met him, or I mean, I waved to him. Yeah. Shout out to that. I waved the least.
Shout out to Nick. Shout out to Stav. Congratulations on both of your specials. Go give them both a watch and write comedy because the world needs more of it.
Write comedy. Go watch your comedians. I mean, I remember there was one hangout that.
Pull it.
I'm more of a whoopee cushion kind of guy.
I'm sorry.
Where was the Nick one?
YouTube.
Yeah. Which is obviously a good method.
I was just about to say,
put it on YouTube.
I'm kind of upset that like Stav's is on YouTube because I really want to see like the view count, like because Nick's is growing. It's been only a week and it's already like at almost 900,000 views. Yeah. So good shit. But what were you gonna say?
I don't remember now.
Oh shit. You pulled a Jerry?
Yeah, I pulled a Jerry right now. What were we talking about before this, bro?
Fucking, we were talking about comedy, bro. We were talking about Nick. We were talking about
he pulled on his finger.
Special. We're talking. I said
you distracted me with.
I said the world needs to write jokes.
Yeah, like I remember, just like I feel like there's been hangouts where me and Bobby have just like watched the stand up. Like I have countless memories of like high school watching it. There was one hangout where we went to like a community center and we watched Mike Kaplan and Friends, which was like
hilarious.
Well, actually, and I still don't know the name of that Asian
comedian. Guy who's mad funny.
He was the funniest fucking comedian, bro.
I only know him by the joke. Yeah. I gotta hit up Mike one day and be like, "Who is this Asian dude?"
Yeah, and I'm sure you can like look up his podcast or something and find it. But I just find that so interesting that like there are a lot of good joke writers and comedians out there that like you might not even know, you might not even see. But
I mean, if you think about it, think of all the fucking shows you watch. Even aside from like comedy shows, even like things like SNL, like half of that is writers that we don't get to see.
SNL late night has like 20 writers. Like those, they've always been grinding those out.
Yeah. Can I
make them laugh?
I'm gonna throw in another thing in there actually. This is weird to just throw in. Like it made me laugh, but I didn't.
Random?
What I'm trying to say is I didn't really like. It's not random. It's on the topic, but I didn't have enough time to write humor for it. You know what I mean? But the other day, my mom was like asleep on the couch, and I was doing something in the kitchen, getting ready to. No, I was making a sandwich in the kitchen, and as I'm in the kitchen waiting for my bread to toast, I look up and she has like the late night show or to the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon on, and I wasn't there to see the beginning, but it's him and Dua Lipa. And they're both sitting behind pianos, and it's all dressed really Christmassy. And she's in like this really elegant dress, and he has like a wig on or whatever. And like I guess the whole comedic sketch between the two of them is like he's like Hal and she's Val, and they're like brother and sister or some shit like that. So they're like
what?
They're like weird lounge pianists where they'll like play a riff and then be like, "Oh, Val, that was like the time you shit yourself," or some shit like that. And Dua Lipa's like, "Oh, Hal, that's like when it's like when you beat a kid in Disney World or some shit."
Honestly, it's not like that's like honestly very like 2009 YouTube humor.
It was the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean
it was the worst thing I've ever seen.
Would I like it?
And even the people like there weren't even laughing. It was kind of hard to watch. I was like, and I'm being honest. Like I feel like this is the easy joke to make, but it's purely an observation. I felt like Dua was funnier than Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
I thought she was selling her lines way better, but at the end of the day, like I said,
I watched the whole fucking the good old there's like 8 to 10 YouTubers that make like drama YouTube, and usually it's about YouTubers, but then other times it's about like actual professional people. So I watched like a video essay about like Jimmy Fallon, and I was like, shit, this guy never was like funny. You know what I mean? Like even on like I forgot what he did, but like his like his SNL like audition was like not even. I was like, how the fuck did Lauren was like, yeah, get this guy, get him.
Bro, video essays, they're taking over YouTube.
Oh, it's so good. This guy's name's Patrick CC. Homie's good.
Bro. Yeah, that guy's so good.
Patrick CC's real.
I watched this guy, Too Lazy to Try.
Yeah, Too Lazy to Try. Oh, Too Lazy. He's good. Too Lazy.
Bro, when are we starting the second YouTube channel, Joystick Essays?
And yeah, and the craziest thing is that some of these people have like crazy production, a million cuts, and then one guy's just like, yo, what's up?
So this is what happened.
This is what happened. Joe Rogan had on a transvestite, and then he killed her. Like, you know, it's like, wait, what happened?
There's some details missing.
Yeah. That's not really an essay. That's like a blurb.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. Something else happened yesterday.
Correct.
That we were all watching.
Correct. I did not expect
we all forgot
that to
about
happen.
too.
Yeah, which, like, I don't know. Honestly, it shouldn't be a big event. It really should, well done, but it should not be like I don't want to be like
you have to. Well, look. First of all, we're talking about the Game Awards, and I
Yes.
think it's funny that we even mentioned it last week when we were talking about the GTA 6
trailer,
and just totally forgot that it was even happening. Yeah. But you also have to keep in mind that the Game Awards have come a long way in the past 10 years to the point where they're like a legitimate gala.
Back in the day, it was like
celebrities and
like
shit.
You could watch it. It was like 80 people were in attendance. It was like not it.
And now, like Dylan made a point, like yesterday when we were watching it, how they only kind of introduce like the major categories and then most of the others should have speed ran, but it's because the Game Awards have mainly just become like the new E3 where
correct.
Like, these are all the new games coming out and this is the day that we're going to show all of them.
Just because of the visibility, I guess.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. That shit gets major views, right? But in typical gaming fashion, I mean, it's not going to be a night without some hilarity in it. It's a room of fucking socially awkward people.
It's socially awkward people, and it's people who have like excelled their craft.
Yeah,
they're just not like a nerd or like a fan of a video game.
Savant.
They're like an expert, or they made the fucking game. They made the backbone. So it's like there's one point where it's like, I know. Can we just go like talk about like our favorite moments?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that what we're doing? My favorite moment, I believe it's like they had like a French. Or maybe I don't know. It was a Swedish developer, and it was a bald guy.
Is that the guy who?
And he instantly just starts groping the dude. He's like, yeah,
so fucking sexy, man.
He's like, that's a nice blaze, that's a nice shirt, that's a nice suit. Like immediately gassing this guy up, and then they're just like hugging and touching. I'm like, what the fuck?
And here's Payday 4. Like. Oh shit! I definitely remember that.
Oh man!
Fuck.
I was trying to follow along what this lady was saying when she was like introducing her game. I think she was like a design, like a game designer. Yeah, I couldn't understand what she was saying. I don't even know who this was.
I don't know.
She was like a fucking cartoon character.
I don't think was this early on. I don't think
like it was like in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, well, I didn't watch.
It was pretty early.
I didn't watch like the first 45.
It was like she was an artist, and she was like Jeff Keighley was like, I invited her because she hasn't gotten funding or anything, but she's so passionate. But she basically did like the 3 minutes where she talks about the game or whatever.
Oh, wow.
But she was just so like, I hate to say it, just very cringily animated, like hello, da da da. And I was like, what the fuck am I watching, bro?
But she also had like a heavy accent, so you couldn't.
Yeah, you couldn't really hear what she was saying.
Yeah,
like she was speaking English.
Yeah. But that with the inflectuations, it's like,
yeah.
I was gonna say, I'm trying to think of like one of my more like one thing I thought was really funny is that it was something I mentioned in the chat this morning that didn't hit me, but that was when Timothée Chalamet went out to introduce. To get out the award for Game of the Year, they introduced him as Modded Controller 360, and I found out that it's because pre-fame, Timothée Chalamet had a YouTube channel called Modded Controller 360, where he modded Xbox controllers with spray paint to give to his friends. And they actually, like, I found videos of him like, hey guys, this is my Red Tiger Xbox controller. Let me know if you guys like it. And he has like a whole interview with Zendaya where they're talking about it, and he's like, yeah man, I used to charge my friends like $10 extra. And she was like, that's so sick. And he's like, I didn't make any money off of it. But I found that so funny that they introduced him as that. Modded controller, so great. I get famous and they're like, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Hyde 21. Is that Bobby?
I have
120 platinums.
And then I didn't realize, like I said, I didn't start watching till about like 45 minutes, an hour in. So it was like it was just cutting to random people. It's like mad people wearing like jeans. There was a dude in a full night costume. I'm like,
and we would be remiss if we didn't talk about Jose's favorite moment from the Game Awards when Mr. Hideo Kojima walked on stage in a pair of red Nike Huaraches, bro. Yeah. And Jose would not shut the fuck up about these red Huaraches, bro.
As a former like hype beast, fucking love that joke. The first time Jose said that, I was like, that's fucking amazing. Yeah. The rest of the night was about
12th time.
That's the 12th time.
The 12th
when you don't even make a joke.
And you know what's funny?
You just say the word right Huarache.
And you know what's funny? Jose's on the way here right now. Yeah. And you know within the first 20 minutes he's gonna make a mention of the
and we're like, shut the fuck up, don't make a mention of the red Huaraches, bro. Even the third joke was funny.
Oh man.
What else is fucking funny about the Game Awards? Yeah, gamers, bro.
I was also gonna say, just like, were there any games that you guys were like sick to hear about, or like stuff? That
actually, right before I got here, I split Baldur's Gate 3 with Andy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're finally gonna.
I'm gonna try.
I mean, everybody
thinks the game of the year.
Yeah. Like everyone who isn't my friend plays the game. I don't know if that makes any sense. I see a bunch of people online playing it. I was at my girlfriend's house. I'm talking with her cousin. He's like, yeah, I'm playing like Cyberpunk and fucking Baldur's Gate. I'm like, is this what people play? Like, what the
That's
fuck?
what I'm saying.
Yeah. And like, I remember even a few months ago, people were playing like Diablo 4. Like, I feel like these like RPG type games and just like that type of like vibe is like really, really not underrated, but like
it's catching on.
We will eat that shit up any day. Like everyone is making like these like futuristic android robots.
Yeah, I was getting tired of those.
Will you save humanity? Oh, your robot legs fell off.
The planet is no more.
Yeah. And it's like Skyrim is gonna blow all of like the next Elder Scrolls is gonna blow the shit out of the water. The next GTA
like that's cool.
This is
a dragon.
This is a dragon. You can fight that shit, but in 80 hours and a million side quests. Fucking sign me up, bro. GTA, literally everything. Sign me up. I'm ready, right? It's like, those will take it.
Yeah.
Fucking old school.
I was going to say, I mean, I thought it was really sick to see a Blade game get announced. I definitely wasn't expecting that, especially with all the already like Marvel projects and games that are coming out.
And it had like I don't know if you saw, but like in the beginning, it had like 6 devs on it. And like names kept popping up. I'm like, did everyone work on this game?
It's like the people who made Deathloop, and I forgot the other Bethesda title that they dropped. But I was also going to mention, I forgot the name of it. But the game that was made by that actor for his like father who passed away, like, the African game,
the platformer,
that shit looks sick. I can't wait to get my hands on that. That looks absolutely fun. It was like the Tales of Kizana or something like that. It'll be here. I'll put it on the screen so you can see. But that was definitely a game. Oh, also mad weird, but that game by the Untitled Goose Game devs, Big Walk. Like with the that game just looks like fun, bro.
It looks so fun.
A bunch of little cartoon animals just walking around the fucking Australian wilderness. Like it just sounds like a good time.
It sounds like a vibe.
Yeah, but shout out to the Game Awards. Shout out to Jeff Keighley. I think that's how you say his name.
Yeah.
Thanks for putting that on for us, pal. I think it's also funny that he hosts it. Like that's like it's like his one ultimatum. He's like, guys, we're doing it, but I'm hosting it. You know, just don't forget, it's me. One year they got like they're like, we got Anne Hathaway. Like, no, I'm
It'd be even worse if they give it to like someone who like Joel McHale.
Oh, I'm mad.
They're gonna give it to. Like,
who doesn't give a shit?
Yeah. There's gotta be some actor.
Video game.
Yeah, an actor. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say I totally forgot that we didn't mention when Matthew McConaughey walked onto the stage and was I was gonna say all right, but decided to say pew pew pew, and I almost shut the stream off. I was like,
that was bad.
That was a little tough to watch.
Oh yeah, a lot of people had jokes that did not land.
Just didn't land.
Like I remember
they're always like that.
Yeah, but I remember there was one guy who made like actually a really funny joke, but I was like, you know your audience, man. Like people at home laughed, but not
the people in attendance.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm tapped out. I mean, I could say like we could talk about the in-season tournament. We could fucking talk about. I mean, I didn't know the Indiana Pacers were gonna go off like that. If I'm being honest.
Halliburton.
Yeah,
fucking. They got like I was reading it. They got like I forgot what draft it was, but they ended up getting like the 9th, 12th.
They got 5 out of 6 draft picks in a row just by doing trades.
Yeah,
and I think they only drafted one of those guys. I think or 2 of the guys, and then the rest were through trades. Also, shout outs to the Pacers for that trade.
But there's no way the Lakers don't win, right? Like it's.
They're gonna have to score like 130 points though. That's the only thing. But if you're gonna beat the Pacers,
but you have to keep this in mind, right? Like it's LeBron James, and I'm not saying that because he's good at basketball and because he can score that. I'm talking about like they just made this brand new tournament in the NBA.
It's the first.
LeBron hears that and he's like, "What? All right, let's go. I need to get one of those." Like he's gonna fucking win. Yeah. You can't tell me he's not. This is one of the times that I'm going to put everything aside. I'm going to put away the fact that the Indiana Pacers are a great team and can make the upset. And I'm just going to be that guy that says, no, like the Lakers are just going to fucking win.
I mean, it seems like the perfect storyline. Like, I'm not saying it's rigged because, like, if they were actually rigging it, Like, they would not pick the Pacers. They would not pick a team from Indianapolis to fucking be in the final. But it's like the
underdog.
The underdog versus the guy.
The king.
And the king and the team. I mean, it's the fucking Lakers. I mean, the Lakers have been fucking Magic Johnson, Kareem, Kobe and LeBron. It's literally everyone plays for them.
Everybody, like, acknowledges that to play for the purple and gold is like it's like a higher standard in basketball.
Right.
It's like some weird fucking like boost almost.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't really win them much anymore these days. But.
No, but hey.
Yeah, like some Yankee shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I was gonna say, it has nothing to do with basketball, but I kind of wanted to pick your brains about it. I mean, I want to pick your brain about it.
Okay.
Even though it's not gonna make sense at the start. It's actually a Melee thing. Talked to Jerry about this.
Okay.
So at the end of the year, when we do the Melee rankings, well, I say we like I'm part of that, but the Melee statisticians do their fucking statisticians, whatever. Fucking they basically came to the consensus that this year, in a really strange twist of fate, both Zane and Cody Schwab are pretty much equally tied for potential number one for the year, right? Like, they have very similar super major results, super major wins. Even their head to head is like dead even.
Okay.
So they're just like on top of each other, right? Apparently, after the Big House this past year, they both approached Ludwig and basically pitched the idea to have them play a set, which would determine which one of them is going to be the number one player.
Yes.
And it's officially happening. It's being called the match. It's happening next weekend. It's going to be a first to 10 set where first to 10 wins, Zane versus Cody. The winner gets the number one spot for the year. Loser gets number two. It has divided the Melee community. Half of the community is saying, finally, some sick events for Melee. This is going to really help our community. And then the other half are just people like, this is a shit show for what it means to rank players. Like, this isn't how we should be ranking them in the first place.
I will make the very important note that any type of sport is about the entertainment value and the money-making capabilities way before like the like I'm all for like I'm very old school with a lot of my like sport takes, and I'm much for like the love of the game or whatever it is. But like no, I mean that will only make the game more impressive and more it'll get it more watch time in terms of like outreach and expansion.
Like I'll admit the first time I heard it I was like, this is weird.
Also, it's not like it's worse that they like it would be worse if they took an existing tournament and got rid of it and then said we're having this instead. Yeah. That would be 10 times worse. What they're doing is it's rankings. I mean, that's not like it doesn't it's not like the person gets $1 million for being ranked first versus being ranked second. It's about being able to say, hey, 2019, 2020, 2022, I was ranked this. Yeah. It's about that. It's about historical. Yeah. It's not really about like, the action, like there's no monetary prize. Exactly. There's no I mean, I'm sure they can make a trophy. They might do that for like the Twitch stream, but I don't think there's like like a number one. Yeah, it's not like the Super Bowl. It's just the number. You don't get the fucking trophy.
But what's actually interesting about that is people have made some really interesting points, like relating it to other sports and things. And one of the points
it's not another sport. It's like it's fighting and it's an esport.
Can you let me fucking talk,
yeah,
dog?
Of course.
What I'm fucking talking about is people were saying that it's kind of cool because it feels like a regular circuited or seasoned event where people play their hardest and then the two players who deserve it get to play at the end in a finals type situation, much like regular sports. So I thought that was cool because for the first time it feels like, now they're not just playing for the number. They're playing for the opportunity to have their rank set. You know what I mean?
It's like, and you can call yourself number one.
Exactly. So
it makes so much sense.
I just thought that was a cool idea. Yeah. So at the end of the day, like you mentioned, I think it's about the entertainment value. I think at the end of the day, it's just gonna better Melee, right? More people are gonna watch it. It's gonna make. I mean, people are already talking about it, so that's doing a good job. But I just found it funny that people are starting like. There's pretty bold people that are comparing Ludwig to like Dr. Allen now for like rigging stuff, and it's like, dog, like. He's just trying to help you guys out.
He literally is like, he knows how important he is to like, just like internet culture and like video gaming culture. Yeah. So it's like,
let the man help obvious. You out, bro.
It's so obvious.
It just goes to show you. And I would say that it's Melee, but it's gamers in general, all these gamer communities. They say they want one thing and then they get it. And they're like, no, I wanted the other thing. It's like, bro, just fucking.
I mean, yeah, but it was a whole bad situation. I think like Dr. Allen was like, kind of like
no, that situation was bad. I'm not talking about that situation. I'm talking about like I'm talking about when people are given things. Like, they're like, here's this tournament. And then they're like, but then it's going to do this. And I was like, bro, we're giving you a fucking tournament.
Yeah, it's...
In Dr. Allen's cases, he fucked everything up. Like, he got rid of tournaments. But that's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So go watch the match.
I agree.
15th. Yeah. All right. Mm-hmm. Jam Yam. Bam. I would say Slam, but he's not here today.
Yeah.
He was wrapping a present. Yeah. That's what he was doing. That's what he said in the chat. He might still be wrapping.
That better be a nice fucking present.
That might be a big present.
That might be a nice present.
What if it's for me? I'm like, oh, I was making jokes about you. I don't deserve it. I give it to you, and it's a steaming pile of shit. Reverse.
Steamy.
Bam, Jam, Slam,
Poop on a stoop, you know? Like Elf on the Shelf.
Anybody want to go first these?
I'll go first.
Jerry's had this band prepped, bro.
Yeah, I heard it. So I heard this song. Somebody had it in like a background for like a tutorial video that they made, and I was like, oh shit, this is kind of a banger. So I Shazammed it. I found the band, and then I clicked their most listened to song on Spotify. That's because that's what you do.
Yeah.
And I found it's a band from Taipei, Taiwan. It's a pop band, and it's called Sunset Roller Coaster.
Oh,
fire.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
And there's a song called My Gingy. It's pretty fucking good.
Cool. Fire.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
My jam of the week, real simple, is just going to go to a song called reUP by outsiderX. Just kind of like a cool dark trap, a little bit of funk beat to it. I saw it because Anthony Padilla from Smosh was doing like some cool yoga pose to it, but the song's fire. Check it out.
Very nice. I'm going to pick a song I like. It just came out. It's called Done Chasing by Diveliner. Mm-hmm. Imagine, I don't know what it is, but every emo rapper has just decided to make acoustic music or like pop punk. That's all, or just straight up pop music. You know, that's what it is. But yeah, the song's mad solid. Very nice. It has some features on it, but they just play like guitar and background vocals. Very folky, but also like emo twinge to it.
Cool.
Good stuff.
All right.
Yeah, that was an episode. Bro.
That was an episode.
That was a fucking episode.
That was episode 170.
That was an episode.
That was a 170.
Guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for chilling with El Boyos for episode 170 of the Joystick Show. Like I mentioned earlier, it'd be cool if you could support us however you feel like doing. You could like, you could subscribe, you could just watch the next video.
You can mail us a check for $500 million.
We would really appreciate that.
That's an option.
Nice. And we'll split it 5 ways.
Dang.
That seems... I feel like you should get half at least.
Yeah.
And then Jose gets a little bit.
We'll talk about it when we get the check. All right?
Okay.
In the meantime, we really do hope you guys have a fun holiday season, but not to worry because you're going to be seeing our faces quite a bit this holiday season because this is just day 1 of Team Joystick's 12 days of Joystick. Something we attempted last year. I think we got a solid 7 videos out or something like that. Yeah. But this year we're hitting all 12, baby.
The 3 French hens and 2 turtle doves died. Yeah,
didn't get a chance all the birds just fucking died of the avian flu. Even the partridge in the pear tree.
We had golden rings though.
Yeah, That was a solid brass object. But regardless, we are going to be making the 12 days Joystick. You just watch day 1, and we'll catch you tomorrow for day dose. What will it be? Who knows? You'll see it. Day dose. All right, homies. Peace out. And peace on earth. Because that's what they say on the...